Okay, so let's start. Well, your name is Tom.
It is.
Can you tell me a bit about where you're living now. Where have you come from?
Living in Cyberjaya, Malaysia, working as a teacher. Been here about 6 months. Before that, we were living in Bangkok for 3 years. Previous to that, Hong Kong for 5 years. Previous to that, the UK for about 30 years. Got a wife, 2 younger daughters. Wife's not working at the moment, doing full-time childcare. My daughter's in school here.
You're quite happy with the lifestyle right now?
Yeah, we are. Our focus is our children.
How old are the kids?
Evie's 1.5, Sophie's 4.5. Generally, it's just everyday family life. We don't have hobbies that use up a lot of money. So it's not like I'm going CrossFit every week. I'm not going climbing every week or whatever else is. So we'll do bits and bobs. So generally, it's just everyday lifestyle, spending money to go to events with the girls, spending a bit of money to do at the house, spending a bit of money to just have a bit of a fun day, whether it's museums or water parks or whatever it is. 6, 12. I think probably, yeah, £2,500 a month is what we've been spending consistently.
And that includes all of your insurances, the holidays.
All the insurances that I don't have. But that's it. It's paying off credit cards in full every month. It's having zero debt. We don't have any debt anywhere in the world at the moment, which is nice. That sort of figure, but that's also not being cautious either. We're not consciously not spending. Which we are going to start doing very soon.
Okay. How do you think about retirement? What does it mean to you?
I'm hoping by the time I get there, retirement will mean more time with family. So hopefully, possibly by that time, grandchildren. Just slow down. I'm not expecting it anytime soon.
What age do you think you're going to be? Or are you aiming at?
I'm not aiming at anything yet. I don't think I can look to that yet. We've chosen an expat lifestyle, but our expat lifestyle is quite different to many people in that we are an expat lifestyle on one salary. So that's limited. The dream of expat families, you both work, you put in a load of money, you've got X amount, you can buy a house with no mortgage when you go back home. If you go back home, you've got all these savings, you've got all these investments. We don't have that. We've had 2 children overseas that we haven't had insurance for. We've probably not looked at our retirement closely enough either. It's a conversation we have, and this is our plan. I manage our finances. And I've learned a little bit about what I'm doing in terms of investments over the last few years. And we're starting now to look at what that development for retirement will look like, which is partly why I wanted this conversation with you.
You haven't made any concrete plans, but the normal age of 68 would be in line with your expectations.
This month is when we're actively looking at when will we actually be able to retire.
Okay. So when you get to 68, this retirement scenario, do you think your spending would stay the same or be higher or lower? I mean, some costs go away, of course, but you might want to spend more on insurances.
I think between now and then, our costs will fluctuate hugely. Obviously, the age of the girls will depend how much we're spending on them. They're quite cheap at the moment. I would expect our costs to go down in retirement, but that may be warped. I look at my parents and I know what they are spending roughly, and it is less than what we are. We'll travel less, I expect. I don't know.
Oh, really? Some people like to travel more.
I don't know. My parents travel more. I don't know. Yeah, I've not really thought about spending. Probably stay the same then. I'd probably expect it immediately changing. I'd probably expect it to stay around the same. And as you say, on different things, probably spending more money on the grandchildren if they're there, and spending more money on X and Z.
And you have more time, remember, so you might be picking up hobbies.
Yeah, true. I'll probably
projects.
I like a bit of gardening, so that would be the traditional old man get in the garden.
So this is where we can split up essentially your capital, what you have already invested, or it could be money in the bank, money under the mattress, cash, if there's any lying around.
Not at the moment.
But the good thing to start with is pension. Okay.
Which is, I will receive $230 every month for however
So
long.
if my maths is right, I think that's 2,760. What it means is my annual net withdrawal from your actual pension fund, your nest egg, only needs to be 27,240.
I think it's
7,400?
Yeah, I think so. Pension. I think you might be able to opt out. If I can opt out, I will probably opt out and carry on investing that money.
Yeah.
But it's a UK pension that I've paid into. So I'm not banking on that getting much bigger. It will just be if I get 7,400 from it and that's it, then that's great. That's 7,400 retirement that I wouldn't have before.
Yep.
The only other pension scheme on there is the Hong Kong MPF, Mandatory Provident Fund. Its current value is 12,000. It's invested and it's grown from 9 over the last 4 years. We're thinking we may take it out in October when Custor will have to go to Hong Kong to get it out, just because of the withdrawal processes.
Yep.
And then we will add that to our investment portfolio. Probably half of it investment portfolio, or half of it will go to her business that she's going to start, and half of it, we may use the other half to pay national insurance contributions, but we're not sure where we're going with that. Depends what national insurance looks like in the UK.
But this is interesting. You can start to see what your blended tax rate is on everything you take out of investments. Okay. Some investments are tax-free, some are reduced tax, some you'll pay the full income tax, some you'll pay capital gains tax. Right? Okay. So you want to know overall, when I take out money from my investments, what's the average tax rate I should expect to pay? Okay. And ideally for each individual line item. Okay, so that's kind of what this helps us understand, as well as understanding the blended growth rate of your investments. Okay. Other investments away from pensions.
I currently have £47,000 invested with a financial advisor. I'm looking to change that in the next month or two. He takes 1% of total account balance every year, which compounding will make a huge difference over even the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm looking to withdraw that and invest it privately. So I've invested 38,000 and my current balance is 47.
Okay, but for index, I would have expected the return to be a bit higher. I wonder what's dragging it down. I think we're at 6% here. So it's 18% the last 3 years.
To read.
I think this is where you had some growth stocks, right?
Yeah. So what I really want to do is find something a bit more reliable, a bit more steady, and put the money in there and just kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'll be looking to do with that 48 and adding it to the 6 that I have in there.
All right.
And the only other one I have is I invested 380 in NVIDIA on eToro, and I'm just leaving that to see what happens.
Shall I put that in as a separate?
Yeah, I think so. 380. The value of that at the moment is 450. It was up to 700 at one point, but it's gone down a bit.
All right. So there's 6,000 in your stock portfolio.
Yeah.
What return do you think that's likely to average? Because you have a very interesting mix of ETF and then growth.
Yeah.
I would, if we can, try to separate it at some point.
That's what I need advice on. To be honest. I don't know enough about it.
So we've got your UK teacher's pension. We've got money in Hong Kong pension system that is liquid and can come out. We've got financial advisor managing the bulk. Yeah, it looks like 48,000. We've got your own stock portfolio where you've been playing and having a sandbox, learning from that, 6,000. eToro, just starting that out, 450.
Final one is Malaysian MPF, which is new. As 6 of 18 is £400 in that, but that will then grow every month, and I will be looking to contribute more to that every month. At the moment, I think it's 2% of my salary I have to contribute.
So the typical Malaysian MPF historically has averaged around 6%. Okay, it's quite good compared to European countries. And then there's different rules around when and how much you can withdraw. Yeah. And typically it's a lot earlier. I think it even starts from 55. Okay. The other thing to consider with this one, if you are thinking about increasing contributions, whilst you remain in the country and under the age of 55, let's say, it's illiquid. Probably you can't access it, right? So you're literally blocking that money away. Do we have any other capital, any cash?
Cash is limited. We have, I suppose I have an investment with my sister-in-law. I lent her £20,000. Right. She is repaying me £200 a month, roughly. Yeah. At the moment, she's a vet, and it's her own personal business.
So you expect you'll get the 20,000 back? Yeah. So
it's a formal plan. It'll be 200 a month until April 26. Then it'll be 400 a month till April 29. Then 500, which is then paying 3% return on my investment.
Is it 3% per year?
3% total, I believe.
Oh, so you're going to get 3% on top of the 20,000. Yeah. By when does it all pay
so
back?
will be end of February 2030.
Oh my word.
It's a business loan to family, so we are not in a rush to get that back, but it makes your maths quite tricky.
Well, it's almost zero.
Yeah.
CAGR. It's like, so 2030, maybe I'll do 0.3.
Yeah, fine. We've not lent her that money to make money.
Yeah, sure.
I asked her if we could have shares in the business instead of taking the return, and she said no. Well, she didn't. Her accountant said I wouldn't advise on that.
Yeah.
Because at some point when they're old, they will sell the business and it will go for a couple of million because that's what vets do. But she declined that offer.
Your sister has a very nice brother. And Tom, you don't have really any alternative type of investments here, have you? Do you think about other types of investments?
I do have some money in crypto. £1,000.
And what's it worth now?
355.
Okay.
It may pump back up. I'm not expecting it to go up.
Just for fun, this won't really matter much, but how much do you think it could go up by per year?
I genuinely have no idea.
Maybe a fair expectation as per Bitcoin. Michael Saylor thinks Bitcoin can do average 25% quite easily for the next 10 years. Altcoins will either be a lot less or a lot more. Okay, so your portfolio right now is 94,750.
Okay.
Its blended weighted CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, is 5.57%.
Okay, fairly low.
Well, you have to take off inflation as well.
This is very low.
So it's actually that minus 2.5%.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly low. It's basically not working for you. Right. And on a big chunk of that, you have this 1% management fee that you're paying regardless of the performance.
Yeah.
So for safety's sake, we could say it's basically not moving.
Yeah.
It's a standstill.
Okay.
So we've got the 94,000, we've got then 6,400 coming in. Yeah. Now look.
Yeah.
Blended weighted CAGR for this new money could be 11.6% instead of the current 5.5. So your new money is going to be working a lot harder.
Yeah.
And then the trick is to see, can I get more of the old money working like the new money? How this works is with the nest egg, we take your tax rate into account.
Okay.
Inverse adjust it so that you know how much your gross withdrawal needs to be. So you need to withdraw 30,267 in order to get that 27,000 that you wanted net, right? Assuming we're going to pay 10% in tax average, okay? Might be a bit more, might be a bit less. Yep. We're also going to assume that whatever money you have in your nest egg is going to be earning, with the current way you've invested, about 6.5%. What I've done is I've merged that 5.5 with the existing money with the higher 11% rate of the newer money, just to show you what it looks like now if you don't make much change.
Okay.
But in reality, hopefully you're going to learn a lot now and focus on this. You will increase that, which will make how big your nest egg needs to be, it'll make it smaller. Okay. Which makes it easier to achieve. Yep. Right?
Sounds good.
So don't get shocked.
That's all right.
That's saying then that your nest egg needs to be 465,000 pounds.
Okay.
Okay. By age 68. It's because now we have to ask ourselves, well, if I have the 465,000 and I'm spending or taking out the 30,000, pay my taxes, whatever, and there's inflation at 2.5%, how long does this nest egg last? Does it last me to the rest of my life, right? And hopefully you still have 32 years. This is where we have to do a quick back test, because actually the 465,000 won't be enough. No. It won't last until the end of your life. So you typically have to add on to it.
Right? It's interesting because what we'd sat down the other day and said a completely ballpark figure. What do we want to get out of this? And the answer was 600 grand would be our target for retirement.
Okay.
But what that doesn't have inside there is any equity of a property or any of that. That would be quite a bit different.
Let's come to that in a sec, because then the question is 600,000 enough? Have we calculated all the dynamics that are going to impact it? So it's 586,000 that you actually need, but don't forget to protect against volatility. Yeah. There's a big difference. You might retire tomorrow, all your investments go down by 20%. Yeah. And then the next year, another 10%. On average, it takes 2.5 years just to come back to where you were, and you've lost the 2 years of average gains in the meantime. Okay. So it's very prudent to have a cash buffer or cash equivalent buffer so that instead of withdrawing then from your investments, which makes it even harder for them to recover if they went down, you just withdraw from the cash instead to cover your living costs. The default would be 6 years worth of expenses, right? You can reduce it if any of these things are true at the age of 68. Could I significantly reduce my spending? Not really, I think, because you're kind of on a...
You'd not have a fun life significantly reducing it.
Yeah, you really wouldn't want to do it. Could I quickly generate an impactful income?
Potentially from Tor, because she has 0.
At age 68?
Probably not at 68.
Right, this is when you go into retirement, remember. The portfolio considered to be very low volatility compared to the stock market? I'd say no, because most of all this is stock market.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I or will I be semi-skilled at rebalancing my portfolio? So selling high to add cash and not selling low?
Yeah, I'd hope so.
And then reinvesting?
By 68, I'm kind of learning that now. So I think, I would.
Okay.
I would be skilled.
So we'll have a tick there, and that reduces the buffer by 1 year. Are my withdrawals starting before age 58? Are they starting before age 45? No, not right. So we had 5 years of buffer. So now you're at 737,000. That's what you need.
Yeah.
We don't need to backtest it because we already know the previous one was enough. This is just on top.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what we get now after all the backtesting. It comes out at age 78.
I'll have enough money by 78 if I carry on as I am now.
Yeah, to retire at your 68-year-old standard.
I can't retire at 68. I'll have to retire at 78.
You're 10 years behind.
Okay.
So now you just need to find some ways to bring that forward by 10 years, which isn't too bad.
No, I'd like to bring it forward by a bit more if we can.
And as you said, if you do what you're planning to do with the reallocation here, with the financial advisor, and you're going to take on more of that responsibility, and let's say you can average 12% instead of 6%. Still not super easy, but I think there's ways to balance that out fairly safely. Let's see what difference that makes.
Bang on.
68.
Okay.
You are exposed to the stock market. So maybe you consider what else is there outside of the stock market that doesn't expose you to that, but can still get you a decent return.
Yeah.
Maybe things that are more tangible.
Yeah. Property is something we're looking at. And one of the thoughts we had was reallocating that 48,000 into a property in the north of England on a relatively low, using all of that. And you can get a 3-bed house for 100,000. And then having that property grow after a couple of years of having it, taking out equity from it to buy a second property.
Yeah.
And doing that every 3, 4, 5 years, refinancing one to bring out money to put into another, and start to develop a bit of a portfolio. It becomes harder to do as an overseas lender.
Yeah. The critical assumption there is with that whole project,
Yeah.
do the numbers stack up to get you a 12% average CAGR every year?
Yeah.
That has to be very, very doable and realistic in your eyes.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, it doesn't serve your plan, saving the 10 years.
Yeah.
Plus all the headache and hassle that goes with that type of project, right? So I want people to take a step back and first ask themselves, what performance does it need to give me?
Yeah.
Is it even remotely possible to get that? Only if yes, then I look into researching it. If not, go look at something else, because you're potentially wasting your time.
What other things do you mean?
There are other things.
Okay. That's it. I'm not.
Exactly. It's like open your horizons, right? There's, if you like index funds, there's reverse weighted, and none of this is financial advice, right? It's just information. But there's reverse weighted index funds, for example, that typically perform 2 to 3 percentage points better but over the long term, but you're still exposed to the stock market. There's ways of being exposed to startup companies, but through a publicly traded company. So you buy their shares, just like buying a normal stock, but you're exposed to their portfolio of startups.
Okay.
And that company may even pay you a 10 to 20% dividend. Okay. Then you're well above that range of 12%. You could consider more physical assets like art, contemporary art. It could be rare spirits and whiskey, which I've just done both actually, art and whiskey over the last few years. And because I like it, because it's tangible, and it doesn't matter what Donald Trump says, isn't really going to affect the price of those assets. Yeah. But what he says affects everything else in my portfolio. So it might be another way to think about it, and it's for your lifestyle. It's easier to manage and execute on.
Yeah.
And that's what the education is, I guess, behind this. It's like to inform people that, okay, look, there are different asset classes. Here's a way of comparing asset classes to each other.
Yeah.
To understand how they differ. But most importantly, you need to know from your plan, your portfolio, what's the lever that you now need to pull in order to reach that goal. So it doesn't, we've only been talking about one lever, which is changing the growth rate. So right now, it looks like you have 10 years to make up for. If you could achieve that, getting the 12%, that's not a walk in the park either. It's like you're going to have to put some effort into making some good decisions here. This is 12% every year, including any down years and losses, right? So as that's the bulk of the money, I'd really want to understand
I know
how these
not
investments
financial
can come
advice,
together.
but I'd also appreciate a conversation about that perhaps another time.
Yeah.
On thoughts about where and how. Streamlining, looking at what I've got in the moment will probably be quite a good idea. Thank you. That's really useful for me.
What's maybe the first major insight?
I need to move the money first. That 48 has got to come out. It's just not performing well.
But hopefully you see how all the dynamics come together.
That's really useful. Thank you. Really useful. I definitely think colleagues would be interested in having a chat with them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.